last year, for the first time in history, Asian women had higher earnings than white men did for earnings in 2020, and this was
And
controlling.
where was that? In the U.S.?
In the U.S., and this was controlling for full-time working Asian women. So that was the
Mhm.
variable that was
Full-time.
controlled.
Mhm.
Full-time, yeah.
Mhm.
But that's a staggering finding, and the difference was it was marginal, but still, for there are various gender differences at play here. But that finding is completely it shatters the whole narrative of race and gender, for that matter, and the whole intersectional claim of race plus gender, giving
Well, it
you
certainly complicates it.
giving you various disadvantages. And so I looked into this. I
Yeah.
said, I went on this about 2 months. I looked into the data, and I wanted to answer that question of why are Asian women making more than white men? What are the explanations? And a few of the things that I found was that Asian women are least likely to have kids out of wedlock compared to women of other racial groups. They have less kids on average compared to other groups, and they tend to have kids later. So the median age for having kids is about 5 to 10 years later compared to white women, Black women, Hispanic women. And they tend to have more family support in raising their kids. They tend to have more support from their parents, grandparents in helping raise their kids.
Another advantage to intact family structure.
Another advantage. Now, moral judgment is irrelevant here, right? I'm not saying that, you should have less kids or you should have more kids, but
no, but you can make a
does play
limited
role.
moral judgment. You
Sure.
can say, if you want to be hyper competitive in the male dominated capitalist environment, here's the sacrifices that are useful.
Right.
It's a bounded moral claim, right? Because you don't have to say, well, that's how you should be. Who knows how long you should put off having children? But if you want to compete economically, that might be a strategy. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean it's an advisable strategy.
No, and that's not the only way to be happy in life too, right? Like, if
it's maybe not even the most effective way.
Sure, yeah. If a woman doesn't want to work so many hours and have less kids and devote so much time towards education, career, right? That's her choice, right? But these explanations, these factors that I just laid out for you, this explains, so having more stable families, more financial security, and more time devoted to pursuing a career. These are the results of having kids later, having less likely to have kids out of wedlock, right? These are some of the consequences of these decisions, but these behavioral explanations just seem sort of taboo in a way, because the implication there would be that if you make these decisions, if you take responsibility, you can actually achieve success. It doesn't matter if you're Asian or if you're a woman. And of course there is sexism. Of course there is anti-Asian bigotry, which seems to be on the rise, by the way, in Canada and the US over the past year since COVID started, right? All those things exist, but they're not a barrier to success, right? They don't stop you from getting ahead in life. But the narrative seems to be that it is, which just seems totally perverse and counterproductive to me.
Well, it is. It has perverse and counterproductive effects. There's no doubt about that. And those can get very badly out of hand. Any political movements that are motivated by resentment, any actions that are motivated by resentment are to be viewed with extreme skepticism. It's a very, very, very dangerous state of mind, resentment.